Hello! What's your favorite season? Is it the spring? The summer? Is it the fall? Or the winter? For me, my favorite season is the fall. I love the temperature, it's cool, it's fresh but not too cold. And I love the changing of the leaves, the colors of the leaves, the oranges, the yellows, the reds. So that is definitely my favorite season. But I also really like the summer. I love the warmth of the sun and the green vegetation outside. It's the season where I prefer to be outside rather than inside. And what about the winter? Well, I do like the winter as well. Why? I actually like to be outside on a cold, wintry day. My name's Miriam, and today I'm going to give you 10 cold weather words and idioms that we use to describe cold weather. Starting with snowbound. Snowbound. What does that mean? Well, when you're snowbound, it means that you are trapped or stuck in a particular place indoors because there's too much snow outside to go out. So either it's just snowed and the streets have not been plowed, or it's too snowy to drive anywhere. So basically you are snowbound. For example, yesterday I was snowbound after we received 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. I was snowbound, I stayed home and enjoyed being nice and cozy at home. The second one is in the dead of winter, which is actually where we are right now in Canada. It's the dead of winter. It means that we are in the middle of winter. It's the coldest, darkest days of winter, in the dead of winter. So for example, January and February in my part of Canada is the dead of winter. It's the time where people need to bundle up to go outside because it's so cold. It's also the time that people enjoy outdoor sports like skiing and snowshoeing. So the dead of winter can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you feel about the winter. Number 3, I like this one. As snug as a bug in a rug. As snug as a bug in a rug. So there are 3 words here that rhyme. Snug, bug, rug. When you're snug, you're nice and warm. Usually indoors, so you might be at home with a blanket on the sofa, relaxing and reading, or you've got a lot of very warm clothes, or you're in bed with a lot of blankets, so you're very snug and warm. A bug is an insect. It could be an ant, it could be a bee, it could be, God forbid, a cockroach. It's an insect, basically. That's a bug. And a rug is a small carpet that we put on the floor to keep our feet warm so we're not walking directly on the cold floor. So it's a rug, a small carpet, a rug. As snug as a bug in a rug. So the idea behind this expression is that if you are a bug and you're inside a rug, you're very warm because a rug is warm. And so you're very snug. Last weekend, it was very cold. I stayed home as snug as a bug in a rug with a cup of hot coffee and a book. Number 4, a cold snap. A cold snap. We use this expression to describe sudden cold temperatures. It's when the temperature goes from being perhaps cool to very, very cold. For example, from maybe 0 degrees, -1 degree Celsius, all the way down to 15, 20 degrees Celsius or even more. So it's a cold snap, and a cold snap can occur very quickly in a matter of hours or just overnight. So you can say that in our province, we were surprised by a cold snap that arrived overnight. It was suddenly so cold that we did not want to go out. A very common expression is freezing cold. I am freezing cold. I'm not just cold, I'm freezing cold. When you freeze, the literal meaning of freeze is when you take water or a liquid and you put it in the freezer and it solidifies into ice. That's what happens when you freeze. So you can imagine how you feel if you're freezing cold, or if it is freezing cold outside. I can say, I don't want to go out, it's freezing cold outside. We also have an expression, or rather a word, called bracing. So bracing weather is actually a positive sense of cold. It's when it's very cold, or maybe not freezing cold, but it's cold, but it's fresh at the same time, and it energizes you. So we went cross-country skiing in bracing cold weather, and we felt so good afterwards and so energized. The next four expressions we often hear when we're listening to the weather forecast, where it gives us an alert of potentially dangerous driving conditions. In winter, sometimes driving can be a challenge, and when it's snowing or when you have blowing snow, it will reduce your visibility and it makes the roads potentially slippery. So that's why it's sometimes dangerous to drive too fast in the winter. So the first of these four expressions is the first one I've already used, blowing snow. Basically, when you have blowing snow, it is what it describes. It's snow that's being blown around by the wind. It blows onto the road, it blows into your view, and it basically obliterates or reduces your view, where you cannot really see too far ahead because of the blowing snow. So, for example, drivers, please be careful on the road. There will be blowing snow. You have to be careful not to hit the car in front of you, because of course you won't see them very clearly. The next expression is gusts of wind. Gusts of wind. A gust is a sudden, quick and sharp blowing of the wind. So for example, it'll blow very hard, not for too long, but it's a very strong gust. And these gusts of wind will blow the snow, so it creates blowing snow. And also, if you're driving on the highway, it could make the car a little unstable, because your car gets blown by the wind and it's hard sometimes to keep the steering wheel straight. So I never drive on the highway when I know that there are going to be gusts of wind. The next one, snow drifts. Again, caused by the wind, and it's when the wind creates blowing snow and it blows the snow in one direction. And then if there is some kind of barrier or a fence, the snow piles up at that barrier or where there's the object, preventing the snow from continuing to be blown on. So a snowdrift is basically a piling of snow. And the worst for driving is black ice. I kept this one for the last one because it's the one drivers dread the most. Black ice is when there's a very thin layer of ice on the road. Sometimes you can see the ice, or sometimes it's covered a little bit by snow, so you don't see it. So you could not know that it's there, and you could slide if you're driving, or you could slip on it if you're walking. So for example, when I'm outside in the winter, I walk very carefully to make sure that I don't step on black ice and fall. So tell me, have you ever experienced any of these conditions? And what happened? If you have a story to tell, please say so in the comments and share a little bit. So if you like this video, please give it a like. And if you would like to get more content like this one, please subscribe and click on the notification button if you would like to know when another new video comes up. In the meantime, if you're in a wintry environment, stay warm and have a good day, and see you next time. Bye.